Hey everybody, I wanted to make a video in response to the video that I made yesterday. I asked a question to my Republican friends to please tell me how Obama had ruined the country from the state that it was in 2007, 2008 to now. How did Obama make this country worse? Well, the funniest thing happened. I didn't really get any answers. I got mostly opinions. There were a few answers that I was like, oh, okay, yeah, hey, that makes sense. But it doesn't, it doesn't explain how he ruined the country. It's just an opinion. So I wanted to go ahead and go over some of those opinions that I was given. One was illegal immigration and deportations. Listen, I don't know if anybody remembers, but illegal immigration has been an issue for this country for many years. It didn't just start with Obama. It was an issue during the Bush years, an issue during the Clinton years. There was a large number of illegal immigrants that were coming in during the Bush years. Nobody did anything about it. So I don't even know why that even got brought up, why that's even Obama's fault. As a matter of fact, Obama has deported more illegal immigrants than Bush or Clinton. So for you to sit there and say that this is all his fault and he didn't do enough, shh. Okay. Another one, welfare and handouts. I don't know if you remember, but we went through a recession. See, and during that time, there were many families that were suffering. They had lost their houses, they had lost their jobs, they had lost everything. And of course, whenever Obama came in, he wanted to do something about that. So yeah, is there more people on welfare than there were whenever he came into office? Of course. Of course there is. We just went through a recession 7 years ago and people are still picking up the pieces. Do I believe that everybody who's on welfare right now needs it? No. But what I'm saying is that we did go through a recession. Families were going through a lot of things and they needed a safety net. Please don't sit there and call him the welfare president just because he was trying to help people out. Shh. Okay. Another one, calling him divisive or even racist. Okay. I would like to know how he divided the country. How did he divide the country? Because from what I understand, or from what I remember, whenever he became president, the country basically divided itself. All the racists came out in just huge, large numbers and were like, black president, we need to put the white back in the White House. I mean, I was there. I witnessed the whole thing. It was disgusting to me. But I mean, for you to blame Obama for dividing the country, I would like to know, how did he divide the country? How did he specifically divide the country? That'll be another question that you'll have to answer, because I don't see how he did it. I see the country dividing itself from the racists who wanted to feel how they wanted to feel and people who didn't feel that way. So, okay. Shh. Okay. Obamacare. Okay. Please explain to me how the former, healthcare system was any better. Please explain to me how denying somebody health care because of a pre-existing condition is good. Please explain to me how somebody who can have insurance for 20 or 30 years that can get cancer, go to their insurance company and tell them, and the insurance company drop them. Tell me how fair that is, how that was any better than Obamacare. Do I believe that Obamacare has done the best it could do? No, I do not. Not saying that whatsoever. But do not use that as an excuse as how he ruined the country. That's bullshit. Okay, the TPP. Hey, I just so happen to agree with you. But it didn't ruin the country. Okay, Guantanamo Bay. Okay, that's a good one. Listen, this country has due process. All right, what we are doing in Guantanamo Bay is illegal based off of our own system. Okay, that place needs to be closed and something needs to be done about those prisoners. We need to have our due process. That's the way this country works. You don't like it? Get the fuck out. NSA. Come on. Really? Who started that? Who started it? Shh. ISIS? Oh. Shh. Who started that? Oh, you want to blame Obama? You want to blame him for that? That's funny. Okay, look, you might have a point here by saying that we shouldn't have pulled our troops out because that's whenever ISIS surfaced. But to say that ISIS started because of Obama is a lie, and you should know that. You want to blame him for everything? Fine, blame him for things that are actually his fault. But ISIS is not his fault. Okay, they surfaced. It's not like they just started whenever he became president. So stop it. Okay, I believe ISIS started with the war that we did in Iraq, just like I believe that the reason why the other terrorist group started is because of the other war in the Desert Storm. So wars create terrorists. So don't sit there and say that it's Obama's fault that terrorists are surfacing. Terrorists have been coming out since we've had these wars with these Middle Eastern countries. So we need to stop having wars with Middle Eastern countries and stop creating terrorists. Don't blame ISIS on Obama. Blame it on Bush if you're going to blame somebody. He shouldn't have started that fucking war, and you all know it. Okay, somebody said he's a Muslim and not a terrorist. Okay, no, he's not a Muslim. Shut up, okay? Somebody said, this is so funny. Somebody said, he lets you murder your babies. Listen, okay? Our Constitution allows women their rights to choose their destiny. Don't blame that on Obama. Blame it on the Constitution of the country you live in. You don't like it? Leave. Okay, another one. Executive actions and authorities. All right, let's go ahead and do a comparison. Bush did 291 executive actions. So far, Obama has done 227. Somebody said that he did way more than all these presidents and blah, blah, blah. Get your numbers right. Get your facts straight. Okay. Somebody's so funny. He thinks he's smarter than everybody else in the room. He might just be, especially if you're in there. All right, another one. National debt. Okay, look. I could admit the national debt is out of control, but you've got to add up all the elements as to why that is so. Let's go ahead and we will start out with the tax cuts for the rich. That did not help us. That did not bring in enough revenue. That was an issue. It's been an issue since the Bush years. So look at that. Number one, the bank bailouts that Obama did in the beginning of his term, I don't agree with. It makes me sick. It's disgusting. I wish he never bailed them out, and I've even been vocal about that. However, he was only finishing what Bush had started. Bush started giving the banks their bailouts, and he was only finishing the job. Okay, another one. We need to reform Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Of course we do, and Bernie Sanders talks about that a lot. Another one, we need to also remember that back in 2009, we can't hold Obama accountable for all of the money that was accrued, or the money that was accrued during 2009, because in case you don't remember, the fiscal year didn't start until after, and the bills had to be paid from the previous year. Okay, so listen, I asked for specifics. I asked for real answers. How did Obama ruin this country? I don't want your opinions. I don't want your right-wing media propaganda, your rhetoric. I want hard numbers. Tell me how he ruined the country. Tell me how creating jobs instead of losing them is a problem. Tell me how people are able to buy houses now is more of a problem than people losing their houses. Tell me how in the hell did he really ruin this country? Be specific, okay? It's not that hard, all right? Okay, I don't want to argue with your opinions. Your opinions are your opinions, and that's fine. That's great, but I need facts, all right? So if you can do that, please, once again, thanks. And don't worry about my cussing. I don't give a shit what you think about that. It doesn't mean that I'm any less intelligent than anybody else because I say fuck a lot. Fuck, fuckity fuck. Okay, have a good day.